Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Quite a while ago I came across this paint by a company called Jaffrey Art, and I'm pretty sure this person is an artist himself and is responsible for making this paint. And it's basically this super thick, super chunky acrylic paint, and I was absolutely dying to get my hands on it because it looks like so much fun. But unfortunately this company only ships to America and Canada, so I can't get it in the UK. I even emailed them, pleading with them to send it to the UK, and they just didn't email us back. So it's left me no other option but to make it myself with some polyfiller. So I don't know whether this is going to work, but I think it'll be quite a fun little experiment, and I'm hoping to create a very, very thick and chunky paint that somewhat resembles the paint that I saw online. It's not going to, but it's the only thing I could think of really. So let's start making some paint and see if this works. Alright, so my idea for this one is to create two paintings. So I've got two different canvases here, and I'm going to make one super, super thick and chunky, and I'm going to make the other one just a little bit chunky. I won't go too far with it, because I think the less chunky one is going to work the best, and I have a feeling the very thick chunky one is just not going to work at all. So I wanted to have a backup, and I'm going to be mixing 5 colours. I think I'll go for this orange, pink, blue, yellow and green. So I'll mix 5 different batches of polyfiller with some acrylic paint, and I'm very curious to see if the polyfiller will affect the colour, because I have a feeling it's going to make the colours quite pastel-y, which might look nice actually. We'll soon see. It says on the pot of polyfiller that it fills up to 10mm. Obviously this is used for filling holes in walls, so I don't think it's designed to be made for really thick things. But I'm going to push it, I'm going to see what it can do. That might just be a suggestion, it might not be a rule. I'm just thinking I might not have enough polyfiller for 5 colours. I wanted to do 5 though. I'll try my best, my canvases aren't that big, so we'll see. Slop this on. I'm just mixing it on a bit of paper as well, it'll save us cleaning a palette or a container. We'll mix some green in with this one. I assume you can colour polyfiller. I've never tried to, but it's just kind of like a plaster, isn't it? You could also build polyfiller onto a canvas and then paint over the top of it. But I'm trying to make a chunky paint. It's definitely affecting the paint colour already. It's made it far lighter than what it was. That's one thick and chunky paint already mixed up. Oh, that's nice. That is thick. Right, let's mix these other colours up. Right, I've changed my mind. I don't think I'm going to have enough, so I'm going to mix 4 colours. I'm going to eliminate... Orange is gone. I'm sorry, orange. Okay, there's blue mixed up. I am trying to be super quick with this as well because I don't want it to set. So I am on a time crunch. Okay, pink's done. It's turned into quite a nice bubblegum pink, hasn't it? Okay, yellow's mixed as well. Right, time to make some paintings. Gotta be quick. Alright, since I've got the yellow one here, I'll start with that. I don't know whether I want to particularly make anything that looks like anything, or whether I just want to create a very chunky, thick, abstract painting. Yeah, we'll just go abstract. It looks good. Like, hang on, I'll give you a bit of a close-up. It kind of looks like the paint that's on the website. It looks very similar, so I'm hoping this performs the same, if not better. Alright, let's slap some down. I want it to be super thick. The issue I'm gonna have with their paint on their site, it seems to hold the peaks, and it's a lot stiffer than what this is. This is very sloppy. It hasn't got a lot of structure to it, but we'll carry on. We'll see what I can make and do. I think with a thick painting as well, you want low levels and quite like thick chunky levels. And again, I have absolutely no idea what I'm making. I'm just going for it, I'm just making art. I'm not gonna lie, I'm having so much fun. The problem is now though, when do I stop? I feel like I could just keep adding and adding. because I want some like really thick bits to see how well it performs, but it also looks nice really like smoothed out. It's actually quite a nice medium to work with. I'm very curious to see what it'll look like once it's dry. Right, shall we stop with that because it's a lot. I don't know which way it goes. Is it upside down? Okay, I'll pop this one to one side. I think I've got a good variety of thinner parts and quite chunky parts. Definitely not as chunky as I wanted it to be because like I said, the medium is just super floppy, but we'll see what it looks like. I think it's looking all right. Okay, so with my second one, I think I might try a stripy flat gradient kind of thing. I can't really do a gradient because I've got 4 completely different colors. But we'll see how it goes. I want a more flatter structured kind of painting with this one. To be fair, usually things look a bit better on camera, but this actually looks better in person than it does on camera. On camera it looks a bit shit. In person it actually looks quite nice. You'll just have to take my word for it. I'll try and give you a bit of a close-up. Everything's very wet. Yeah, so there's still quite a bit of texture and a little bit of thickness, but it's a bit more blendy, this one. It's a bit simple, but you know, sometimes simple's best. Not always. Not actually a lot of the times, but sometimes. Okay, so I'm gonna have to wait, I can imagine about a week for these paintings to dry. And I think the paint mixed with polyfiller worked better and also didn't work as well as I thought it was going to. A, I thought it just wasn't gonna work at all and just be a mess. But B, I thought it was gonna be a lot more structured. I wasn't expecting it to be as floppy as it was. So it was really hard to get them peaks that I saw with the original acrylic paint that inspired this video. So that was a bit of a shame. But before I go away, I've got a new friend that I want to introduce you to. Sounds very mysterious, but I'll be right back. Give us 1 second. This is Zach. And you might be wondering, why do I have a 7th dog? I know. Well, Luther, which is his dad, ended up having a baby. So this is... oh, hello. This is obviously his son. And he's just a little cutie, isn't he? Look at that face. Oh, but yeah, I just thought I would... oh, I just thought I would introduce you to him. And if I look a little bit tired, this is why. Because I'm a dad again. He's a bit of a chewer as well, so you can't leave anything around him, otherwise he will take it and destroy it. He's destroying the house at the moment. But anyway, I'll get back to you in a week, and we'll see what my paintings look like, and we'll see what polyfiller mixed with acrylic paint looks like. Okay, I'm back. And surprisingly, the thick painting, and also the thin painting, only took 2 days to set, which I was quite surprised about. I thought it was going to take way longer. But this is what the thick and chunky one looks like, and it's got a 70s, 80s psychedelic alien landscape kind of vibe to it. I quite like it. I like the colours. The polyfiller's definitely changed the colours, but it's still quite vibrant. It's not too pastel-y. Unfortunately, throughout this painting, you can see various hairline cracks and also some quite substantial cracks within the polyfiller. So I'm not sure what the longevity of using polyfiller on a painting would be, because I have a feeling the more this gets moved around and the more this kind of settles, the cracks are going to get deeper and deeper to the point where I think it'll eventually just fall off the canvas, or at least parts will chip off the canvas. I definitely don't think it's going to survive. To be fair, there's like cracks all over it. It's hard to look at a place where there isn't a crack. But I like the painting as a whole. I actually think it's quite nice. Considering I had no idea what I was going for or what I was doing, I was just chucking down colour on a canvas. I think it's quite interesting. The thinner canvas, on the other hand, has worked much better, and I do really enjoy the smooth gradient kind of feel to it. And surprisingly, polyfiller blends really nicely with paint and with itself too. It's definitely got a really nice smooth texture, but still quite a rough texture at the same time. The finish of it is obviously very matte, but I can imagine you could easily go in with it and put some gloss varnish over the top to make it shiny if you wanted to, or seal it in a little bit more. But there's not a single crack on this one. I'm not entirely sure whether over time this will crack and stuff will start to fall off and it'll start to chip, but I can't see any immediate damage or anything that's particularly alarming. So not bad. It actually looks alright on this camera. It looks like sunset, doesn't it? So overall, I don't think I fully recreated the original acrylic paint that I wanted to, because that acrylic paint looks absolutely amazing. I'm still gutted I can't get my hands on it. If anyone in America or Canada manages to use that paint and try it out, let me know what it's like. I am desperate. And if that company sees this video, please respond to my emails. Get in touch. I'll pay. I don't want you to send it to us for free. I'll pay for shipping, I don't mind. I just really want to try that paint. But using polyfiller with paint, it does work and it doesn't work. It has its drawbacks. I don't think it's a permanent solution. However, I think for small textured pieces or thinner textured pieces, this is quite an affordable option rather than using a different paint medium, because a 1 kilogram tub of this costs about, I think it's about £5 or £6, so not expensive at all. Whereas a proper thickening medium or like a modelling paste or something, you'd be looking at about anywhere from £12 to £20 for a very small pot of their medium. So if you're on a budget, it could be something that you might want to play around with, but if it all chips and falls off the canvas and falls apart, do not come back to me and blame me for it. You have been warned. It is a possibility, especially if you're doing something like this. But let me know what your thoughts are on this little experiment down in the comments below, and whether you use polyfiller on a regular basis for your painting. I think it's an alright thickening medium, but it definitely has its drawbacks. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and feel free to get in touch if you've got any other art supplies or kind of art hacks or little shortcuts or life hacks or anything like that, and I'll be more than happy to try them out if I can source it and get it and do it. But anyway, I'll see you next week for a brand new video.